right, this is going to be quick. My name is Ina Irby, and I hope you're having a good day. I'm heading off to work soon, so this is going to be a short and sweet one. This is under March 12th, right? For Beyond Belief. Here we go. Life is full of misery, loneliness, and suffering. And it's all over much too soon. Woody Allen, born 1935. Pain has been called the touchstone of all spiritual growth. Regardless of what we think about spiritual awakening, we all know rude awakenings. Growing and learning often come the hard way. There may be some question as to the origins of what is thought to be a Chinese proverb, curse. May you live in interesting times. No one has authenticated the origin of this, but Woody Allen could be the inspiration for the modern cliche. Life sucks, and then you die. He invites us to ponder our tendencies to worry our lives away. Life is short. In recovery, we get a second chance at a life that was on a trajectory to end tragically. At some point, recovery includes setbacks such as health problems and other misfortunes. The poster child for recovery isn't always the one who has turned it around from rags to riches. Maybe the poster child is one among us who remains stoic in the face of adversity. A second chance isn't a guarantee of a front row seat or a place in the sun. It's just a second chance. Can I take my recovery one day at a time, regardless of what life has in store for me? After all, life doesn't last forever. What am I waiting for? I think when you first leave a cult, or for me, from my experience, I was euphoric once I realized that I was free. And there's a euphoric feeling. And then reality starts to set in. And then you realize, oh shit, there's a lot of shit. And then it's frustrating, right? Because you're like, maybe I didn't make that decision that you thought was just the wisest decision, that it was going to carry you through into the new world. Yeah, that one person, right? That was going to help you get through. You married a spiritual man or woman. And, well, then you start to wake up and you realize, whoa, I was skewed in the way I was thinking. I was listening to, I don't know, some Google executive, and he was saying how he had like a small amount of people to choose from when it came to marriage mates. And so he picked the one out of the, I think, like dozen that he had a choice of. And then he fell in love with her like 6 times, and then he decided that the marriage was done and he wanted to find someone else. And then he has all these billions of people to choose from. And I almost think that when you have all those choices, it makes it even harder. But, that's just my opinion. And, he's hoping that his chance is going to be better after his marriage for 22 years. I think he had been married for 22 years. And then he wanted a second chance. He wanted to find someone else out of the billions, right? But just because for me, from my perspective, just because he found that person, I mean, granted, I would want him to find that one person that would make him super happy, right? At the end of his life. I mean, he wasn't like this gorgeous guy he was balding, and he was, he's kind of pudgy. I mean, he wasn't going out looking his greatest, right? He's already in his 50s, 60s. By that time, we're aging. We have wrinkles, right? So he's opting for that second chance, that trajectory. And like it says, you know, just because you get a second chance, it's not a guarantee you have a front row seat or a place in the sun. It's just a second chance. And I think that it is wonderful to get free from a cult. I think it is the best thing to do. For me, it was the best thing to do. I had a choice. And fortunately, I had a marriage mate who cared for me and loved me and wanted me out. And he had been out for 20 years. Now, I can't speak from his experiences, but I mean, it hasn't been easy for us since I've left. I mean, I've realized I made a lot of mistakes. And I think that's where it's like, okay, yeah, I make the mistake, move on. And accept what you have. And yeah, I didn't go to college. Yeah, I don't, whatever, you know, I don't have the massive, beautiful house or whatever, you know, I don't have the best health. That's part of life. As you age, you're doing the best that you can. And when you get out of a cult, I think, you know, you're euphoric, you get a second chance. And a lot of times in my life, I feel like I've had second chances. And then I do the best that I can with that second chance that I have. And that's all you can do. Sorry. So being able to take recovery, right? One day at a time, regardless of what life has in store. And I was listening to another individual, and she was explaining how you can make choices, and whatever those choices are, right? You don't know what you're going to get. You just do the best that you can. And don't look past that. And I think I, for one, always am looking at the past. Oh, I should have done this. Oh, I should have done that with my kids. Oh, I should have done. I would have been that way even in the organization. It doesn't matter. So looking back, there's no benefit to that. And I always have to remind myself of that there's no benefit of looking back, just forward. And no one is guaranteed a second chance. So I appreciate what I have. It's not perfect. It doesn't live up to my expectations. I don't live up to my expectations because I had such high expectations. I mean, we had this facade, this imaginary life in our minds about what paradise would be like, right? I did. And so, yeah, you do the best that you can and you appreciate every day and soak it up to the best of your ability. And if people around you aren't, right? If people around you aren't, and even today, I mean, you know, family members, they all have their own little things about what they consider, what they would want when it comes to perfection, or what they would want when it comes to their lives. And it's very separate from mine, and that's okay. I don't have to make it. I don't have to do what they want me to do. And that's part of life. That's part of learning how life goes. That's part of Al-Anon too. You let people go and do their thing, and you just take time for yourself. Right? You stay in your own lane. You stay in your own lane and you do the best that you can in that lane. And don't let everybody come into your lane. If you need some space, you can go off and do some meditation. You can quietly take a walk where it's green and pretty. You can stick your feet in water. And if it means, just because I have the luxury of having an ocean not very far away from me. But if you don't have that, you get a tub of water, put some Epsom salt in there, and you stick your feet in nice warm water. Right? You do the best that you can in your situation. And just because we have a second chance, we're not guaranteed. But that's okay. It's okay. You can survive that. And you can survive, I feel that I can survive the chaos that happens in life by just taking care of myself, even if it's just for a few minutes. If it means taking a 10-minute walk and just hanging on to what I have, or locking myself in the bathroom, because I remember doing that when the kids were small. I'd lock myself in the bathroom and just like, oh, it was just so nice to have that few minutes of peace, right? Just a few minutes of peace. But yeah, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it. It's too hard to think of how I could change all of that. It's better if I just accept it and just say, yep, those are the decisions that I made, and that's okay. And I'm not guaranteed a second chance. I'm just appreciating what I have. And life sucks. Sometimes life sucks. And I remember my English teacher, his name was Mr. Valente. Oh, he was probably the most depressing teacher, but he was actually very honest. He said, and I remember I would go in the room, and sometimes it was just a few kids. I lived in Santa Ana. It was a hard school to go to. I didn't really fit in, but he would sit and just kind of shake his head on his chin in his hand, and just shake his head. Oh, life is so unfair. And it's true, right? Life is so unfair. Those were the wisest words. And I used to look at him and think, gosh, he needs Jehovah. He needs the paradise. I'm so glad I didn't preach to him. I'm so glad. I think he was a Jesuit Catholic. He was cool though. And those were his wise words. And, well, life is so unfair. It's true. It's what you do with it. You make the best that you can. You do the best that you can. Make the best of what you have. And sometimes it's just about being, as strong as you can be. Hang in there. There are people that survive the cruelest forms of tragedy, and they can get through it. And I think that's why sharing is so important, to know that people survive through the cruelest forms of tragedy, right? And if you can still have some humor about you, that helps. Well, hang on. Find a good friend if you need to talk to someone. Go outside, take a walk if you have no one, and that's okay. I survived. It helps to know that other people survive, and you can get a second chance. It's possibly not, maybe. Sometimes it's a wonderful experience, and sometimes it's a learning experience, right? It's a learning experience, and it can be hard, but you can get through it. So I thought that was quick and easy, and I'm not going to do too much editing, so I have to go to work just as what you do, so I won't take any more of your time. I hope you have a good day. Follow your bliss and be good humans.